Right, it was 2 days ago on this spot, just here, hang on this little patch of grass. I saw, it was just me and my dad here, and I saw 2 white deer. And I looked through the window, I was like, Dad, there's some white deer. And he was amazed because he knows a lot about wildlife. I don't really know much about wildlife at all, but he was like, that is incredibly rare. Whoa, be really quiet. And then we looked out the window and I managed to film them quite. He didn't manage to film them. And in the background, you can hear my dad attempting to get his smartphone to behave and engage filming mode. And he was struggling a little bit and his language got a bit blue.
Oh, what?
It's all right, Dad.
No, this thing is...
That's a white deer.
Yeah,
Wow. Whoa. That is amazing. But anyway, it was white roe deer apparently. I don't want you to get the wrong impression of my dad. Like, it's funny what the video, but I want you to know he's really cares about wildlife and he's a very lovely, kind, thoughtful man. He's just, you know, like many of us, he sometimes struggles with his technology. Here we are. It's nice to see you again. This is a very special episode today. I'm going to be interviewing somebody. It's the first time I've ever interviewed anybody. And yeah, I was a bit nervous, to be honest. But it was somebody who I've met several times before in the past, but not a lot, but who we're sort of internet friends. We're friends on Instagram. And yeah, I think we're buds now. We're buds. So his name is Ed Mayle, and he's a guitarist extraordinaire. He's a boss level guitarist from Nottingham, and he lives with his partner in a lovely part of Nottingham, out in the countryside on the edge of Nottingham. And they've got 2 lovely dogs, Una and Wavy. They've got their own Instagram account. I'll post the link to that downstairs in the bottom. And in fact, I'm going to post loads of links. There's going to be loads of links underneath here downstairs. Yeah, so I'm having a great time with my niece and nephew and my brother and my sister-in-law and my dad, and we're just outside Royal Tunbridge Wells in the countryside, and it's fantastic. Right. Isn't it amazing view? It's amazing. Look at that. It's dead nice. It's really, really nice around here. So there's a little bit of fluff floating around. It's coming to get me. My dad pointed out that seeing a white deer is really rare, and that it was a fallow deer that was white. And apparently there's like 1 in 1,000 fallow deer is white like that. And Dad was saying that there's every chance I'll never see one again in my life. So that's how rare they are. And it was just outside. I think there was 2. So maybe they were related, I'm not sure. I wanted to mention regarding last week's episode 4, I talked about the incidents of a sexual nature which happened at one of the places I worked at. I neglected to put a trigger warning. I'm sorry if that was triggering. I'll just make sure to put a trigger warning in the video next time. And currently there's now a trigger warning underneath the video. Right, so Ed Mayle is this guy who worked in the Nottingham Drum and Guitar Centre a few years back. We talk about that in the show, in the interview. And yeah, he's a really nice guy. He's a really cool dude. And he's got a band called UFK, which is like, at one point it was a 3-piece pop punk band. And then at another point a bit later on, it became a 5-piece ska punk band. And they've done all sorts of cool stuff. And they've got a great YouTube channel. And currently he's also plays with Abi Moore in her band. And the Abi Moore group, her group is an Americana roots rock kind of vibe. And he's doing that at the moment with them. Also, as well as that, Ed manages his 2 lovely dogs' Instagram channel. He helps them out with their Instagram. And he's also, he puts videos up on Instagram all the time with playing guitar, and he's really, really, really good. And he also operates a YouTube channel with his friend Andy called Signal signal_to_noise. I tried to search just signal to noise and loads of other things came up. So if you're searching for it, it's signal_to_noise. In fact, it's this way, isn't it? Because you're opposite me. So, but anyway, we have a lovely chat and it was great to catch up with him in the location where he often goes. Yeah, it was lovely. But anyway, welcome to episode 5 of the Tars Henry Channel Show, featuring Ed Mayle, the boss level guitarist and dog herd from Nottingham. Tars Henry Channel Show. Cool.
It's really try and look natural.
Yeah, look natural. We're just two
Right,
guys
Wavy.
leaning against the gate talking.
Wavy, just like natural,
Just
mate.
two normal, natural guys.
Yeah.
Just being normal. I feel like I need my jumper on. That's better.
Yeah,
I
put
feel
your
more,
arm over the
more
back.
comfortable now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, hi. So, hi Ed, nice to meet you, dude.
Nice to meet you. It's almost as if we haven't walked from
I know.
about a mile and a half away.
We've just bumped into each
At
other.
a fence. This is what people do. Isn't
Yeah.
It? This is middle age. You bump into a man at a fence.
So, this is Ed Mayle from the world, from Earth.
You
yeah.
don't know that. We haven't talked about that.
Oh yeah, we
That
haven't.
could
I
be
don't,
from anywhere.
I don't know your origins.
No, it is Earth. Yeah.
It is alright. Okay, cool.
I'm led to believe.
Oh,
I
right.
don't remember the first couple of years, but I've been told.
Okay.
I was
Yeah.
just born like a normal person.
Do you have like a Mork style thing you have to communicate with your
So
manager?
what? Yeah, we all do, right?
Oh. I don't know.
Oh.
Well, I mean, yeah, maybe I should be doing it. Maybe I've got a bunch of emails I should have looked at.
This was supposed to be more light-hearted than that, but no, yeah, I believe I was born in the stand-up process.
Oh, cool. Oh, that's good. Nice. Yeah, me too.
Good.
Yeah, we're both
We've got a lot in common.
both got great haircuts.
Yes, great haircuts. Born like real people.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say real people. That's really
Oh,
normative,
yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, it's fine if you weren't born.
Yeah,
You
if
do
you-
whatever.
yeah, exactly.
You do you.
Yeah. Each to their own style of being born. I met Ed through the Nottingham Drum and Guitar Centre
Yes.
back in the day. He's a Nottingham guy.
It's a long time ago
A
now.
long
that.
time ago.
Yeah.
When was that?
I think I left the shop 5 or 6 years ago, and it was
Wow.
before that. So yeah, it's been quite a while, and we sort of know each other on the fringes, don't we?
Yeah, we're sort of like internet friends. Ed is like an amazing guitarist. Well, I'll do that before, we can cut bits out
Yeah,
like this
you do
bit.
whatever.
Yeah, one of the things I wanted to talk to you about was I've seen your signal to noise channel that you
Yeah.
do with your friend Andy.
Andy, yeah.
Andy. I saw the one with your Martin guitar, the acoustic,
Yeah.
and the bit at the end where you like burp and you're like, don't use that. I love how he did use that.
Yeah, well,
It
that's,
was used. That was really funny.
Yeah, we're thinking about having one where I just tell everyone I'm a terrible person.
All right.
Everyone's got a bit of a persona, haven't they? So my girlfriend watches those videos, and every time she says, "Why does that not sound like you?" And it's,
Yeah.
well, I don't know, but yeah. So I think I've got a bit of an internet voice that I use.
Yeah.
And
It's hard, isn't it, when you know there's a camera on you?
yeah, well,
Like,
that's
it
something
just
I think
changes
you've done
stuff.
really well, though. I think you
Oh, thanks.
just come across as you are.
Oh, cheers, nice one.
Probably it helps to be like editing your own stuff as well, because you
Yeah.
can look at it and go, I wouldn't have said that. I don't know why I've said that.
Yeah, there's loads of things that I'm like, there's loads of ums and ahs that I snip out.
I got battered about, basically
Yeah.
about that. We did the first couple of videos and we watched them back, and Andy said, "You've got to stop saying."
Yeah.
Because I would start and I would be so today we've got and you'd be there. No,
Yeah, you can't have that.
need to do this again now. That's the most difficult thing. I think.
It is, yeah.
Because you say things like that. That's what happens in conversation,
Yeah,
isn't it? And then-
exactly. Yeah, for it to be natural. Yeah.
but it can be too natural.
I've noticed YouTube videos are often like very snippy and snappy. I remember there's this lady, her show was really funny and she was always snipping, like really like aggressively snipping it, and I just thought that was funny, so I just...
Yeah, I like that as well. I think it's a different style that a lot of. I think if you don't watch a lot of YouTube, you watch it and you think, God, that's weird.
Yeah.
Whereas if you do, you think, oh, that's how videos look.
Yeah, this is what they do.
Yeah, we have some contention with that because Andy doesn't like it at all.
Right. Yeah, your videos they're natural, like it's more peaceful. There's like a there's a nice calm atmosphere.
Oh, yeah, thank you. I think that's something we try and do, actually. Yeah, because it's a nice space, and I think we want people to just sort of, I'd like it to be like a nice visual experience. So there's several people I watch who do guitar videos, and some of them are like RGB lights everywhere and everything's a bit techy, and it doesn't work for me. And then some people, so there's a Dutch guy called Sasha Ivantić.
Oh, I think I know who you mean. The bald guy, he's got a great haircut as well.
No, well he has, but he's got one of the other great haircuts where people have hair and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
not as good.
No, not quite. Would you choose to go for it if you could go for it though? That's...
No.
I don't know, I'd probably still have hair if I could have hair.
I would love to have hair.
It'd be nice, wouldn't it? Yeah, but Sasha has this, and I've seen it, and it's like, it's a corner of his house. You'd like to think that the entire thing is like that, but it's just such a nice shot that even if it wasn't a pedal you're that interested in or whatever, it's just really nice to look at. And the playing's good, and it's sort of, it's an experience as much as it is a demo. Yeah,
like you're just like chilling in a place for a while, and
I think a lot of stuff that's like based around people on YouTube, primarily you watch it because you like the people, or you like the environment that they sort of create.
Exactly. That's how, one of the things that made me want to do it is that, like, especially during lockdown, there's a few people like Answers with Joe Scott, and his channel's really good. And there's one about like SpaceX and rockets, and he's really good too. There's several, but it just feels like you're hanging out with the person for a bit. Yeah, and it's just nice. It's just you find yourself drawn into things that you know you're not interested in. Yeah, I watch channels on loads of stuff. I don't care about what this is. But I enjoy the videos. I like the people, and I'll watch it anyway. Or do you watch JHS, their pedal channel? Yeah, I do. They're amazing. I love those guys. Yeah, I think so as well. I feel really pretty, because what's the guy called? Is he called Scott? Josh. Scott, yeah. Josh, yeah. Snip that bit out too. Josh, I'll never forget his name. Yeah, it's a mate of ours. Yeah, a friend of the channel. Yeah, Josh. All right. He gets like, they talk about the kind of disses he gets, and I feel really protective over him. I feel like, you feel like connected to somebody. Yeah. Because they're like hanging out with you online, and it's not real. But I like it. Anyway, that kind of inspired me as well. Just it's I don't know. Maybe it's the new way to hang out with people, or one of the new ways that we can do that. Yeah, I think so. And I think this actually is something that is probably underdone, right? Yeah. So you take two people that people may or may not know. Like we've got, I don't know. I've got 28 followers. Have you? 28 subscribers. 115. I made that sound like it might be some hundred. It's 115. Wow, that's so good. Is it? Well, but that's 115 people that now might know of you, and it's 20 however that might know of me, and you have to assume that. Yeah, it's like collaboration. Yeah, the fact that we get on means that someone who would like you might like me, and vice versa. Yeah. So. Oh. Yeah. It's, right, bud. No, that's it. It's just it's like a good way to connect and hang out, and you never know what's going to happen either. It's like you put videos out there, and it's just there to watch for ages and forever. And yeah, I like that aspect of it. Yeah. For me, like, I've always messed about with guitar, but without knowing any theory or anything. I never did scales, but I didn't feel like any kind of sort of confidence with my abilities or knowledge until I started doing like a structured online course. Right. I'm nearly at the end of section 2, where I'm sort of intermediate, and so I wanted to ask you about, I've seen your amazing, excellent guitar playing. What was your kind of journey with learning the guitar? Well, I started when I was about 8, which is 30 years ago now. And so, I mean, I'm older than you, so I'm not. You're not old enough to make me feel like 38 is young, though, are you? No. But, yeah, so I'm a magician. I've been. Sorry, mate. Need a better beard for that. Yeah. It's wizards, isn't it? Yeah. So 30 years of. So this is where I really started to feel old, because when I started playing, of course, there wasn't the internet. Oh yeah. So there's no YouTube. Me neither. There was like
you could get tabs out the back of Guitarist magazine or whatever, but what
Right.
you got was dependent on who they decided to talk about that week.
Yeah.
So in a way, it was a bit more disparate, and like you might learn like a little bit of the very, very easy bits of Steve Vai,
Yeah.
like a bar somewhere, or then there might be like a Stevie Ray Vaughan thing, and you'd learn a lick, and then so I guess part of it was doing that, but it's just been just hours and hours put into it.
Yeah.
For me. Do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
I haven't deliberately learned anything. I think what I've done is liked something,
Yep.
gone, I wonder how you do that, and then spent ages listening to it and working it out.
Well, like a song, like yeah.
Yeah, a song or a lick or a part of a solo or something
Yeah.
like that. And then once I learned an individual thing, I think one of the key things was then going back and going, well, what does that mean for other things I can do?
Right.
So if you learn a lick and you learn it in one place, you're like, okay, that's cool. Then you might hear that same thing somewhere else. And go, oh,
Yeah.
cool, so I know that now. I think,
yeah, because licks are like that, aren't they?
yeah, and little, like, maybe 2 chords out of a chord sequence, you might like the sound. So, like, I started listening to
Yeah.
very, very basic jazz tunes, things like Georgia on My Mind. There's
Yeah.
a little 3-chord run in that where it goes from, like, I guess it would be like E minor to D minor to C major 7 or something. And I realised when I heard that the first time, I'd never heard it before, and it was so cool. And I'm like,
Right.
oh, that's so nice, because it's just got this like descending thing that's slightly different from what you're expecting to hear.
Yeah.
As soon as I heard it once, I heard it everywhere. And I was
Right.
like, oh cool, I've got that now, I know what that is.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
that,
sweet.
I think, is a really big thing.
When you know like a chord thing on a guitar as well, you can move it up and down and play it in any key.
Yeah.
Which is handy.
Yeah, it's really easy to transpose it, and then once you know what you like, then you can start to look into neat, small bits of theory. I think
Yeah.
theory can be used as this thing to be really prescriptive, where it's like you learn the theory, and then you start messing around with it and learn how it sounds,
Yeah.
and that's not always really helpful. But to find a thing that you like, and then use theory afterwards to explain what's going on,
Yeah.
it can be much more productive for you.
Yeah, and it's sort of like it helps you to understand it or to describe it to somebody else.
Exactly.
And-
Yeah. It's only a description of what's going on. It's not
Yeah.
telling you what to do. It's sort of just telling you what you've done.
Yeah.
And if you get into it that way, then I think that just helps you to take a thing you've learned and maybe use it somewhere else.
Johnny Greenwood from Radiohead is probably my favourite guitarist.
Yeah.
And I remember reading online somewhere, someone had said, I mean, I Googled the question, like, what do I need to learn to be Johnny Greenwood? and someone said, you need to know the major and minor scales, but the bluesy scales, and then atonal stuff and loads of crazy. I mean, he knows millions of things, but it at least gives you some sort of direction to point you in some kind of direction.
Yeah. What's really cool about learning basic, major and minor melody and harmony and how that works is that as soon as you hear something that twists your ear, you know how all the normal major and minor stuff works. So you hear something else and you go, right, cool, well, I know 90% of stuff and it's not that.
Yeah.
So there's not that much you can go at to work out what this weird thing is.
Right.
You just know it's none of the normal things you know.
Yeah.
And then that narrows you down so much to start working out weird stuff, which is, I don't think Johnny Green would be upset, because he will watch this. I don't think he'd be that upset if you said that some of what he plays is weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
So
and he's probably he might just be messing around and like improvising and
Yeah.
going on playing, following his ear. Not like when I'm playing, I'm not really thinking very much. I'm kind of using it. Well, it depends what you're playing, I suppose.
Well, I think that if you can get to that point, that's key, isn't it? I think if you can be not thinking and still coming out with something you like the sound of, that's the dream.
Yeah, well, that's how I had to play, because I didn't know anything, so I was messing around,
Yeah.
Ed Sheeran, he went to court and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, but one of his first songs, I'm not a big, massive Ed Sheeran fan, but I respect him as a musician, because I respect
I put myself
anyone
in the same camp.
Yeah.
I don't like to listen to it necessarily, but you could never say it wasn't good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, I got into a bit of a debate on Instagram about that, because he clearly, like, people were saying, oh, he's terrible, but he clearly understands the language of music. He can sing, he can play guitar, he can write songs, what, you know, how harsh do you want to be? Like, what's your definition of an able musician?
If you can sell that many records,
yeah,
which is his
Respect
aim
you.
through music, then he's obviously done what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
And done it pretty well.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But like, there was one of his earlier songs, he was like, and I was like, oh yeah, I just knew, I was like, that is Bob Marley. That's a Bob Marley top line, like melody.
Yeah.
And so I sometimes recognise little bits, and like when you were talking about licks, there's one that James Taylor always does, and I can't remember it now.
With the doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
Yeah,
I know
that's
the
it.
one.
That's
yeah.
the one.
And as soon as you hear it, you're like, oh, it's James Taylor.
And you hear it, you occasionally hear other people doing it, and you're like, oh, it's that James Taylor lick.
Yeah, and a lot of them, they become cliches because you hear them so often.
Yeah.
So like it used to be like the start of Johnny Be Good, you know, or those bends in Johnny Be Good.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't hear it so much anymore, but you hear that and you know exactly where it's coming from. It's just, oh, Chuck Berry did that and now everyone does it or whatever.
Yeah, because sometimes in pop music especially, someone will do a song that's massive. Oh, I remember when Beyonce did that Crazy in Love song, and she was going, oh, and then everyone started going, oh.
Yeah.
Coldplay were going, oh, and it's oh, this, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it just gets into people's ears and they expect to hear it in a song, and you don't think, oh, that's derivative of whatever. You just think, I like it when people go, oh.
Yeah. It's a good vowel.
It is, yeah. You don't get a lot of E-E-E's, do you?
No, yeah, they could do more, couldn't they?
Yeah.
But
E's the only one actually that you don't get a lot of. You got O's, O's. Mine, there's no I's, is there?
No.
Oh. I Will Always Love You. There's a lot of but
That
that's
is a tune.
it is a tune, but that's just one I, isn't it? That just goes on a very long time.
Yeah, I was about to do it, but I'll say that.
I nearly did as well. So I'll leave that.
So it was like you were piecing together. Well, not piecing together. You were picking up bits, following your your intuition or your interest in and what was available, because it was pre-internet, and you slowly kind of absorbed more and more licks and riffs and knowledge. And then, so how did you get to where you were learning about harmony and stuff like that? Because I don't understand. YouTube's a good place to learn guitar, but it's totally unstructured. So
yeah, it is, isn't it?
Someone might be teaching you something that's way above what you know already, and if you've got gaps in your knowledge from below, it might be too much for you to understand.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think if I was doing it now, what you are doing is what I would recommend, is to find a course, I don't know, like the Robben 4.1 on TrueFire or something like that, and just say, we're not affiliated. Are we?
Yeah,
You're
no, I'm
sponsored?
not.
No.
I'm not. My guy is Michael Palmisano.
Oh,
Guitar Game.
okay. Well, any of those, I think is a great way to go, right? Because, like you say, everything builds on from before.
Yeah.
You don't accidentally drop in lesson 11 and wonder why you don't get it.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know really. I mean, there's still a lot of grey areas for me, but I think what I found was I started listening to blues players, which is mostly what I listen to.
Yeah.
But the ones that are a little bit more sort of out there.
Right.
And it was exactly like I had all my basic stuff that I understood.
Yeah.
And so as soon as there was something, like I said before, that I didn't understand, but I liked the sound of it,
Yeah.
I would look for what that was.
Right.
And I'd find that, which would be a little snippet, but that then maybe would lead to something else. So like with the blues, there's a couple of areas where you can play stuff that's a bit odd to lead you from one thing to another. So
Yeah.
like when you go from the 1 chord to the 4 chord, you can set this tension up to then release when you get to the 4 chord.
Right.
And I would hear all these licks that I just like, that's amazing. What's that? Like,
Yeah.
It's the fact that you can't understand it as something you know yet that triggers it. And so I started to look at different ways that you could do that. Because it is so cool, there's so much out there that people have done the same.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to know the same thing, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course.
And so I watched a video, a guy called Josh Smith.
Right.
It's a lot of Joshes, but he did a great video on that pedal show, and part of it, Mick asked him that question, like, where do you get all the cool stuff from? And he had like a 4-minute explanation that just like sort of completely opened it up, which was brilliant. But even then,
so you were like ready. You heard that information. You're like, this is what I needed.
Yeah. And in a couple of cases, it made me go, of course. And that's annoying, but sort of reassuring in equal measure, isn't it? When somebody says something and it's so obvious that you should have thought of it before. Yeah. But it just cements it. So I think just looking around find people you like. If you want to just get into a certain thing, find people you like, find out what they are doing. And like, I've been really specific with it. But I've only really started taking, I say only, this is because now we're old, time goes very fast.
Yeah, it does.
I only really started taking it like seriously, I think since I started doing Instagram. And that was since I moved into the house which I'm in now, which has been like 7 years. So I say only, it's been 7 years, isn't it? Like,
goes quicker.
But until then, I was just messing around and playing in bands where where everything was really specific to the band. Yeah. So we would write riffs and songs and stuff, and none of it was transferable elsewhere. Right. Yeah. Whereas now I play like standard guitar, you know. So when I learn things, I could go and use it on a gig somewhere, or go and use it to play a wedding, which I don't do but could do, and things like that. So
that's a great way to. That's a great way to kind of make money as well, like playing at weddings and stuff like that.
Yeah, it can be if you can handle it. I don't know about you, I don't like pubs anymore. And
no,
don't like drunk people.
Yeah. So. I just know that I'm not going to sit down and learn all of those songs that you need, and I don't take recommendations because I don't know all of the songs. So,
Wavy, why do you always stand up when I laugh? What's that? It's a good thing. I'm not being attacked. Oh. It's all right.
I'm aiming for my videos to be like 10 minutes, but
yeah, you'll have to
one of them was 40 minutes, and they're growing. But
12, I think 12 seems to be.
12 is a good amount.
Seems to be good.
Yeah, because if you see one that's too long on YouTube, you're like, I'm not watching this. It's half an hour. Yeah. Sometimes.
Or occasionally there's certain people that I will. And
like that pedal show.
40 minutes, brilliant.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And that pedal show and the JHS show, I can watch that a lot. Longer ones on that.
Yeah, there's a fair few I do, but like you say, some people maybe you have to ease into it. You need a lot of trust from an audience to ask them to put 40 minutes into you, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. It's a lot to ask for. But thanks very much, because it's reassuring to hear. Because I had a band with my friends, and one of the guys was like amazing at playing the guitar, and he'd studied music at A level and stuff like that, and it just seemed a bit like, oh, he was born at this level of being a guitarist, you're born at being this level. And it was, I don't know, I feel like this type of conversation is, we don't always hear it. People don't, I mean, maybe I just didn't ask properly, but.
No, I completely get it. Like, I think the key thing is that, as you say, nobody's born being able to do it. No. I still look at people who've been playing 4 years and are unbelievable. And you have to remind yourself, like, what they must have gone through to do it, and do you want to do that? You know, like Guthrie Gavan said that he spent all of his school years just going to school and then coming home, playing guitar until he went to bed, and then going back to school and just doing it over and over and over again. Yeah, it's like, he's an unbelievable guitarist, but did you want to have a social life, or play video games a bit, or do you want to watch telly, or like, do you want to have a normal life and play guitar, or do you want to be one of those people? You might be that great, but what was your life actually like? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you have to understand that we can't all put those hours in. Yeah. And some people are just savants, aren't they? Some people probably do pick it up, and in a week they've got it, and it's like, oh well. They
seem to get it.
I do think there are just some next level people, and we just have to accept it.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't all be one of them. But then you never know. Like, you could be the world's best something else, and you just never found it.
Best at doing that.
Well,
I can't even do that.
You would have noticed that, but like, it could be something that just never came to you in life, and that could be like the thing that you could have, absolutely smashed. Some people, maybe it just comes together that the thing that they happen to be very good at also happens to be the thing they wanted to do. Yeah, maybe.
And that's the thing. It's what you want to do. It was knowing what you want to do with it, and like, you're playing in bands and stuff.
Oh, it's a singer called Abi Moore. ABIMOORE, not like the one in Scotland. But yeah, that that was interesting for me because it meant learning things.
Yeah.
Like learning things that were already written, and that's not a skill of mine. Certainly not learning them and then remembering them.
Right.
So that was a real eye opener. Like I've been concentrating always on just sitting down and playing, which is what I do now. I pick a guitar up, I play, and I go, oh, that was cool. Yeah. Or that wasn't cool. And what comes out comes out. But to actually learn something that's already written is more difficult. Yeah. But yeah, like the only thing you can do wrong with the guitar is not enjoy it. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, because enjoying it keeps you playing it, keeps you coming back to it.
And if you don't feel like picking it up one day, don't.
Like
that, I think that's really key. Everyone's like, well, you need to do 20 minutes here, you need to, and you do need to try and do that, but
habits are good and routines are good, but
but
like rituals. But
everyone's got stuff in their life that they have to do every day at a certain time, right? And if something that you're trying to enjoy becomes that as well, then it can really knock it out of you. So
you want to enjoy it. You want to enjoy it.
Wavy's behind the camera now.
Oh.
Are you checking the shot, bud?
Oh, we've probably done it. I think we've done it.
I think we've done it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to introduce, these are the dogs. This is why I keep looking down and like supplying biscuits and stuff. So this is Una. Wavy, come here. Good boy. And this is Wavy. Oh. They're they don't know which way cameras work, so they're not. Yeah,
they're not pros like we are.
No, we know what we're doing.
Yeah.
We've got 135, 37 followers between us. So
yeah.
Tell you what, yeah.
See if we can get them on the camera. There they are.
There you go. So now we're going to take them to the river, aren't we?
Yeah.
We're going to get you to swam.
Nice.
Wavy, come here. I'll get Wavy back.
I think she smelled barbecue. Oh, there she is. She's just... Oh. Where? Who lives in there?
She lives out.
Wow. She's awesome. It's good that they like playing in the water. A lot of dogs, not that I know much about dogs, but a lot of dogs don't like the water.
No, yeah, there's a fence in there.
Oh.
Can you see it? A fence or a gate.
Oh yeah.
Una, come here, you're going to walk into it.
Oh no, I shouldn't get trapped. I'll have to jump in and rescue her. Oh, and there's rope swings. I love rope swings. I hope you enjoyed our little chat and our time in the countryside, and it was great to see you. Thanks for coming to the show, and I will see you next week for episode 6 of the Tars Henry Channel Show. Goodbye.